In our seminar, I kidded a bit about the reactions that we frequently get from teachers about how the standards are not so different from what they saw in the past. And we talked about how when they confronted the assessments that Park have developed, that it sort of changes their tune, that they recognize that this is a very different game that they're going to be involved in, one in which the stakes are quite a bit higher because of the way in which students are being challenged in these assessments. Most teachers have read the Common Core standards in their discipline or grade level, and they like them. That's encouraging. This is the bad news we hear, meaning Denise and I, my wife, in talking about this. Standards are pretty much the same. We already do all this. Nothing new. Just because there are new standards, this is a quote from one of the teachers my wife worked this last year, just because there are new standards doesn't mean I have to change the way I teach. And you know what? That's how people think about this. And if that's the case, your kids will never be ready for Park. Never. Because this implies things going to be different than they were in the past. Over the past couple of years, GSEG facilitators and consultants have worked in places like Medford, Logan Township, working closely with staff on the Common Core implementation. I've done some of the facilitation with Haddonfield, and I think the things that people could really use the most help with next year are going to be, does an outside facilitator help you do the practice in your district of leading this process? Does it help to have somebody who's, not an administrator leading that process? Our consultants have been in many classrooms through the years, and they've become highly proficient at carrying out the difficult conversations that sometimes occur around this work. It's clear that administrators and all of us at times need to be coached on how to most effectively carry through on these conversations. It's one of the things that we think GSEG can bring to this, and that will help principals become more effective in communicating exactly what it is that they have seen in classrooms in ways that help people understand what the limitations are and how we can confront sometimes some of the mediocrity that they might see in classrooms. Sometimes it's easy when the work is really not done well. Sometimes it's harder when that work kind of falls in that middle ground to get people to understand what it takes to make a difference in their work and change. We think we have the kinds of folks who can help principals find the right words in these conversations and use the right kind of evidence to make a difference in the way in which teachers work with their students.